I'll happily explain this one, because I remember when the conversation first started in the late 2000s. Anyone who dare even mention the I word was immediately shut down as a racist. But that's what happens when you have several years of Princess Tony Blair. And I'm pretty sure it was him or someone that worked very closely with him that admitted the reason why they opened the borders in the first place was so that they could import voters. The reason why open borders are unsustainable is because you can't predict how many people are going to come into your country. Before Princess Tony Blair came into power, we'd have an average of 10 to 50,000 people coming into this country net every year. And it's a very easy concept. You need to make sure that you can accommodate for 10 to 50,000 people coming on average a year. That's 10 to 50,000 potential new houses, 10 to 50,000 new jobs, 10 to 50,000 new cars on the road, school places, GPs, hospital appointments, etc. You get the gist. When Princess Tony Blair came in, he swung the borders wide open, and that jumped to around 250 to 300,000 a year. Now, unfortunately, the United Kingdom is a very small country, and most of these people were coming to England, which is why the population of England is much higher than Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland combined. Suddenly, that's 250,000 new houses you have to build, 250,000 new cars on the road, school places, hospital appointments, GPs. That's every year. But there wasn't a limit. If you don't control your borders, you have no idea how many people are going to come into your country the next year. And you kind of need to be on top of this, because if you don't, you end up with congestion. I'm old enough to remember when I was little, if I was ill and I needed to see a doctor, I could see them within a couple of hours. And that's on a busy day. Today, you are literally playing phone lottery. It is near impossible to get a doctor's appointment on the same day, because the second the doctors open, everyone rings to try and get an appointment. And even then, you might be lucky if you even get seen that week. And this is a consequence of the population increasing at such a rapid rate in such a short amount of time. Unlike a lot of people who just want to say that I am just being a racist for talking about this, I do not blame people, I blame numbers. You unfortunately need to control the number of people that come into your country, and you need to be sensible with it, because otherwise you are putting massive strains on public services. I have watched house prices absolutely skyrocket through the roof because the demand is so high. I'm also seeing every few years a new housing estate appear, sometimes even tower blocks. What used to be countryside is now a concrete jungle, which ironically is not very good for the environment. Take notes, Green Party, because you are pro-open borders. Not to mention it also costs the taxpayer an absolute fortune to keep on top of. It can cause some social issues as well, where you have large groups of people congregating in one area. They form their own communities, there's no integration, and sometimes it can cause tensions. It just seems that the Tories are conserving Tony Blair's legacy at this point. They've campaigned on the issue, but they've never actually sorted it, because Labour and the media would call them racists.